What's going on, guys? Pobs here with Team Lethal. Today we're looking at the UPR catch can that we're going to be installing on our 2021 F150. So today I have with me Steve from UPR, aka the Catch Can Man, helping us and showing us the install on this catch can.
Hey everybody, how you doing? So 2021 F150 5-liter V8 as God intended. But what we're going to do today is a UPR catch can kit. It's slightly different than the 2020 kits. So it's a whole new kit, and this will be available at lethalperformance.com. It's one of our multiple stage coalescing catch cans. And just take your cup off, drain out with your drain oil. It's super simple to take care of. And why do you want a catch can? Well, the factory configuration of the PCV actually allows oil to go from your PCV valve directly into your intake manifold. That's going to eat oil. It's going to cause, the valves to get coked up, and you want to protect this investment because these things aren't cheap these days. So the best thing to do is to put a catch can on it. The PCV valve tube is actually pretty easy to get to on these trucks, and I can kind of show you that there's quite a bit of oil on this already for a low mile truck. So you just take your tube off, and when you look inside your tube, a lot of times you're going to see some oil residue there, and that's the stuff that's going from your PCV valve right into your intake manifold. So the UPR catch can is going to prevent that and trap a lot of that, so you don't have that going into your intake and actually make the truck run better and get better fuel economy.
What happens when this oil gets in there?
Well, like any other engine, when the oil gets into the intake, it's going to coat the intake, it's going to coat the intake runners, going to get all over the valves, and it's going to coke on the valves. Anytime you have oil getting into the chamber, that's going to dilute your octane level in the chamber. Now, we know that this truck is not going to remain in stock in Lethal's hands, right?
Nope.
So as we get more and more power adders putting on this, cold air intakes, maybe a supercharger in the future or something like that, you don't want that oil getting in there and really messing up really what your tune is going to be.
Right.
So you want to make sure that tune is going to stay, as intended and not get contaminated with the oil.
Sounds good.
So the catch can, we make this pretty easy to do. It's going to actually mount on the battery tray here, so it's going to be a little bit easy to get to. And plug and play fittings with all of our UPR catch cans that are plug and play. They just click on just like the factory fittings.
Love that.
And it's super easy to remove and take care of. So really, really easy to install. We're going to go through the installation on this so you can see it step by step. And I think y'all are going to love it. And if you have a 2021 F150, you're going to want to get one for your truck.
All right, so Steve, walk us through how easy this installation is.
It's pretty easy. Basically all you're going to need is an Allen wrench. And really that's it. The only tool is really an Allen wrench for this installation. We make it really easy with these mounts that we make. It's all billet construction. We have these really nice knobs that are options on our catch can kits that would use a mount like this. So you can actually take your catch can off and service it with no tools. So we're going to give you guys a deluxe kit today, of course, because it's lethal and we love you guys. So we're going to make this work. But on the battery tray, there's you've got a tab here, and we're going to just remove that little factory harness clip and put this bracket in its place. So it's just a matter of pulling this clip out of this hole and then installing the bracket. We're going to put the screw in from the coming up from the hole. And what I'm doing here is this is a securing lanyard. Not a ground wire, but securing lanyard. What that's going to do is, if you're taking this off of your truck and you lose it, it just falls and you can just retrieve it. So it's something that we did, quite honestly, because I'm prone to dropping things. But it just makes it really easy to install.
So what do you recommend as far as servicing the catch can? Pretty much every oil change?
As far as servicing goes, every vehicle is going to be different, and actually the environment as far as temperature makes a difference.
Okay.
So if you live in an area where it does get pretty cold, or like down here in South Florida, it gets pretty humid, you're going to get more condensation in the can. And that's going to be for a couple of reasons. Just normal condensation because the can's going to be out here and it's hot engine oil going in there. And other reasons, sometimes you're going to get condensation out of the valve cover. So it's also pulling that junk out of there and trapping it in the can. So once you have this secured on there, The catch can just simply pops on and secure it with the knob. Just do that kind of loosely. So,
wow.
then your next step is going to be removing the factory tube. So your factory PCV tube is going to run from your valve cover over to your intake manifold vacuum port. So when you're driving normally, intake manifold vacuum is pulling the...
It's just pulling it straight in there.
Yeah, but what it's doing that for is get the crankcase impurities and all that junk out of it and reburn it. So it's emissions, but it could be better.
Right.
You know, so this is basically, think of a catch can as a filter for your PCV fit system. So we're just making the factory stuff better. And again, just to put everything back on, it clips on, very simply. And the UPR plug-and-play fittings have these gray buttons that you don't have to pry out or anything. You just push them, give it a little wiggle, and it pops right off. So if you ever need to take this in for service and you're worried about your service center or your service advisor having an issue with an aftermarket part, it can be removed in a few minutes, just as easy as it's put on.
That's it.
That's the driver's side. That's the passenger side. So this is your PCV system, filtered with a UPR catch can, and then just every 500 to 1,000 miles at first, just check it out. And you can either unscrew the cup, just right here. There's plenty of room, and this cup has a good capacity, about a 6-ounce capacity before, you know, it's maybe even half full. But that cup there is plenty of capacity. We have an O-ring seal, so you don't have to worry about the O-rings. The O-rings are replaceable. We do have them on the UPR website if you want to get replacements. It's not a bad idea to have them, but you can use them over and over again. So you just wipe this out, put this all back inside, and maybe once a year you can remove the whole catch can and clean it with just warm water and dish soap. We don't recommend solvents or anything like that. You know, this anodized finish is really nice looking, so it just needs a mild detergent to clean it.
So what you're saying is it's pretty low maintenance.
Yeah, you basically put it in there and you don't worry about it. For instance, and we'll show you later on in the video, we'll show you one of our coworkers, Sharad. He just came back from a 5,000 mile round trip with the same size can, and we'll show you how much he has in his truck because we haven't emptied it yet. But pretty easy to do.
Are you ready?
All right, guys, so we're out here checking out one of UPR's shop trucks, and this truck actually just had a 5,000 mile round trip from Kentucky back here, and we're about to see how much oil has actually been collected in the catch can.
So this will be like a typical 5,000 mile oil change interval for most folks. This truck's been doing a lot of running around, like we said, Kentucky and back, Bradenton to here several times. So it's been getting run around. And so we just undo the plug and play fittings by pressing the gray buttons on them. Take the fitting off.
Quick release.
Sharad's truck, also has the quick release knob. If it's an option on the kit, I strongly recommend getting it. We can't put them on every kit because of the configuration, but it does make it nice.
When you can, definitely go for it.
So again, you just unscrew the cup from the catch can, and this is all that would have been going through that intake in 5,000 miles.
Wow.
So instead of this going through your intake, it gets caught in the can.
Yep.
You dump it out with your drain oil, dispose of it properly like you would with drain oil.
Of course.
Make sure that we're keeping the environment as clean as possible, and that's it. Then when you dump it out, you put it back on the truck. So we're gonna go throw this in our drain oil and clean it out for them and put it back on the truck for them.
All right.
Oh yeah.
Now, this is one of our other products called a clean side separator.
Okay.
In your PCV system, we have your dirty side. So we call it dirty side. You have your PCV getting that dirty oil and vapor into the catch can and going into your intake manifold.
Okay.
When you're towing, you have your foot through the firewall, you're accelerating. Sometimes you'll have crankcase pressure push out of the driver's side.
Okay.
We call it the clean side because the tube is actually connected from the air filter to the valve cover. Okay. So it's actually, when this is under vacuum, this is sucking air out. It's sucking air in through the clean side. So that you want clean, fresh, filtered air to go in there to make, it's makeup air, what we call it. So as it's being pulled out, you have makeup air going in.
Okay.
The clean side separator actually flows in two directions. So it allows clean air to still go into the crankcase, but when you have oil splash come out, it will trap it here. This is maintenance free because once the air starts coming back in,
right,
it naturally pulls the oil mist back in. Again, if you want to, you can take this, you can clean this with warm soapy water. Very, very easy to do. And this fitting is very similar. It's just a plug and play style collar. So to remove the factory fittings, they have these little flip tabs.
Okay.
And they work pretty good. And the UPR fittings go right on there, but we use the gray buttons. So again, these here, the 45-degree fittings, we have 2 buttons to squeeze, and it goes right on. But,
nice and easy.
Yeah. That's it.
There we go. And in a matter of 10 minutes or less, you've made your motor a lot safer.
Absolutely. You know, and it's good looking too. We use the Continental braided hose. It's a really good looking hose, very low vapor, so it's important for emissions as well. It will dress up the engine compartment, or, you know, depends on how you look at it. It's all satin black in this particular kit, so this kit kind of blends right in.
Blends right in, yep.
But there it is. UPR plug and play catch can kit with the clean side separator for the 2021 F150 with the 5-liter. It's that easy. It can all come off, and all this can be put right back on.
Perfect.
Just as easy.
All right, well, there you have it, guys. If you're interested in picking up one of these catch cans, you're going to have the link down below. Thanks, Steve, so much. We really appreciate it. Okay. What are we doing here?
Ready?